Hey guys, can you hear me? Hey, Florida Keys, Red Dragon, Anita Backrub, Puss in Boots, Jane Rhodes, Christy Andrews, Random Guy Jeff, Serena, Pearls of Wisdom, Lovable Rogue, Bonnie McMillan, Serena, I think I said Serena twice, Devil Inside, Trisha Not Trish. Yeah, me too. Devil Inside. Me too. Carol Carper, Wild Irish Rose. Hey, Blink. Hey, Only Fools Lie. Angel Rose. Yeah, Devil Inside said, so sick of liars. Me too. Trust me. If there's one thing that pushes me, hey, Pamela Long, one thing that pushes me over the edge, hey, Sparkles and Crafts, it's being called a liar. Because you can call me a lot of things. You can call me a bitch. Hey, Ishmael. Hey, Carrie Greeting. Uh, you can call me a lot of things. You call me a bitch. Uh, you can call me, I don't care. Call me a hoe. Uh, which, trust me, I'm not a hoe. But you can call me a lot of things, but I'm not a liar. And I'm so sick of people getting up on their platforms and acting as if they know anything about me. Yeah, you can call me pole bender. I forgot about that, Blink. Pole bender. But so we all know, you all know that me and Brian, we have a history. It's not the history in which Marsha portrayed on her live stream because she once again either was misinformed or just flat out lied when she said that I knew Brian when he thought Darlie Routier was innocent. I did not know Brian then, but I did know Brian when he his son committed the crime that he committed, and Brian has been running around because he put up a post where I said I made my call to see, I made my daily call to CPS and to the detectives. And Brian's been running around saying he never gave me the CPS man's name. He never asked anybody to call CPS. Marsha's running around saying she doesn't believe that, which she's totally wrong. The child in which we're talking about is Brian's biological grandchild, Marsha. Get the story straight. Now, keep in mind, I had nothing to do with who got that child, who ended up with that baby. Okay? Nothing at all. But because Marsha wants to sit up there and pretend like she knows my life, I'm going to show her exactly. Yeah, I can prove all of this. I definitely only fools lie. Because remember, Brian's running around saying that he never asked anybody to call CPS. He never, uh, you know, it just, I'm just the biggest liar on YouTube when it comes to this. So I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. And maybe Marsha will start checking her facts before she starts running her mouth about something she knows absolutely nothing about. Okay? So, because I'm tech stupid, that's right, you can call me tech stupid. I don't have a problem with that. Because I'm tech stupid, I can't screen share. I don't know how to do all that. If I start touching buttons, then I'll kick myself off my own freaking live stream. So I don't want to do all that. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to put my camera on, and I'm going to show you. I have no idea where she come from. I'm just telling her right now that if she continues to run her mouth about me, and things that she knows nothing about, I'm going to keep proving her wrong, which in the end is going to prove that Brian is lying. So she can either stay out of my business or we can keep up this tit for tat over there, Miss Marcia. Okay. I don't care either way. But let me pull up what I've got to show. Hold on. I want to make sure I don't dox anybody. All right, hold on just a minute. Cam. Camera facing. Trying to figure out just how to turn my damn cam on. Screen share. Hold on, guys. Hold on. It's saying I have to restart my browser. Hold on a minute. Maybe Kiki will grab her a screenshot of my big fat swollen face because of my steroids. And okay, I want you to look at this. Okay, let me see if I can get it. Okay. Do you see whose post this is? You see where it says Bry E. St. John? See where he gives the number to Children's Services. And I did block out someone's last name. And I'll post this on my community post so everybody can see it. But since Marcia and Brian want to run around saying that, you know, I did the wrong thing, I'm going to show you. And I'm going to read this to you. Okay. Because, like I said, this is definitely Brian. See? See, there's his picture. All right. Hold on just a minute. So I'm going to read this to you all right. This was in a Facebook group called Justice for Braden Part 2, because I explained that our Facebook groups went two separate ways. Okay. But first, let me show you something else. This is the end of Brian's post. See where he says, keep those calls coming. See this? Okay. Let's go back. See where he says, oh, wait a minute. I don't want to dox. I don't want to dox anybody. See where he says, the CPS worker for this person and the name, James Turner. See that? Okay. This is what Brian wrote in the Facebook group that I was an administrator of. I'm no longer in that group, so Brian needs to get his facts straight. But this is what he wrote. He wrote, working to protect children, restore families. Then he put up a phone number. And he said, the caseworker for Kelsey Blank, I'm going to leave her last name out of it, to be reunified with Ryan Jr., we'll call him RJ, is James Turner. They are working with Kelsey to return her son to her and possibly put him around Daryl Ferguson, whose name she has tattooed on her leg a week after the baby passed. Daryl is Braden's dad, and he sits in jail for killing a man. We all know that story. So he goes on and he says, call him up and ask him why she's even being considered for this since she didn't follow orders before and put her son in danger, who is now deceased. Of course, he didn't use the word deceased. So now this is Brian calling me a liar under Marsha's post. See, I'm a liar. I'm a liar because he never asked anybody to call CPS. And fact is, guys, I'd do it again. Okay. I don't wish Kelsey any harm. I hope she's getting her life in order. I hope everybody is, you know, is getting their, they're happy and they're healthy. But I'm not going to be called a liar, especially by somebody like Marsha, who knows nothing about the situation. Absolutely nothing about the situation. Exactly, Ishmael. Hi, Eagle. I had nothing to do with who ended up with that baby, who did not end up with that baby. I was trying to help the baby. In the process, it just so happens that me and Brian both agreed on something. I know that doesn't happen often, but we actually both agreed on something. So I will post this on my community page so everybody can see that I'm not the liar. It's the fact he lied and said he didn't tell people. And exactly, Everett. Exactly. And Marsha is so far off the mark over there that she doesn't even recognize that the child we're talking about is Brian's biological grandchild. She keeps saying in her live stream, or a child he considered a grandchild. I had nothing to do with uh, Brian and his family getting visitation or not, and I can show you proof of that where me and Brian talked about it. I think I posted it where Brian requested some post. It's on my community page. So, like I said, I tried to tell Marsha this. Don't call me a liar. You can call me a lot of things. I don't care. But I do not lie. And the sad thing is, Brian knows I don't lie. So for him to run around and call me a liar every other day, he knows I'm going to find my proof and my truth. Now, I might have to look through hundreds of screenshots, hundreds of text messages, hundreds of posts. I don't think Marsha's blocked in here. I've never blocked her. Hold on, I'm going to turn my cam off. on to your plan, okay? And we've got it in writing. Now I had to turn my camera off. In order for me to figure out how to turn my camera off, I have to go leave the Michelle Porter, did Clary T really put Laura on that site? Clary T admitted to putting Laura on that site. Now, I personally wouldn't take responsibility for something like that if I didn't do it. But then again, I wouldn't do something like that. Exactly, Kathy. And it's okay, like I said. They want to be Brian's friend, they want to support him. Go for it. But don't get in the middle of me and Brian, Marcia, because I'm going to show my proof. And Brian running around calling me a liar every other, he should know better than this by now, because he can call me a lot of things, but he cannot call me a liar. And I will put that up on my community post so that everybody could see that I'm not the one lying. Brian is. Brian wants biscuits and gravy. Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too for a minute, Sarah. So Brian proceeds to call Sarah and Deputy a hoe. Calls her a hoe, okay? And, basically says, let's meet at the Bob Evans and talk about your wife's behavior online to Sarah's husband. Could you imagine the outrage if somebody called Brian's wife a hoe? You know what he would do? He'd pull that disability victim card. That's exactly what he would do. I can do a live with you, Truth and Snarky Lady. I don't need to do a live. I mean, I've paneled up with Marcia before. She knows I don't have any problem paneling up with her. But I'm going to continue to nip the shit in nip it in the bud, people. Nip it in the bud. Hey, Carla Marie. Because, like I said, if there's one thing, Stewie, now no rumbling this morning. I'm just putting out facts, Stewie. I'm not rumbling. Because to be honest with you, it's almost the Christmas season. I don't feel the need to get on here and holler and scream. Well, not today, anyways. And it's so comical. Just paneling up with Brian included complimentary tetanus shot. I paneled up with Brian. He came on Marcia's the other night and he got pissed off and left. Wanted to call me a liar, a liar, a liar, a liar. But I proved that wrong again, too. I proved I wasn't the one lying. Marcia helped me prove that. Hey, Georgianne. Marcia helped me prove that Brian was the liar. But yeah, so he wants to go on and call yeah, Brian came up here for like 5 minutes and called me a liar, a liar, a liar, a liar. Miss Truth, please I will, Helen. I think she did misread that, Helen. I was watching that as it happened. I will definitely tell her, Helen. I know, I know. I saw that. I saw that go down, Helen, and that's how sometimes reading chat can get you in trouble. But yes, I will definitely tell her that, Helen. Hey, Lisa Duncan. You're welcome, Helen. Take care. Hope you have a good holiday season. But like I said, I don't want to continue this shit, but Marcia keeps running her mouth. Yes, Jay said my husband recently said something to him, Brian, please prove because he don't go looking for you. He commented to you on my video, his wife's own video. Yes. So, like I said, they want to support Brian, support him. I think it's great he's got support. They want to be his friend, be his friend. But when it comes to me and Brian and our situation, Marcia, you ought to get your facts straight, girlfriend, because you're the one that ends up looking like a fool. And like I said when I started, the only thing that I cannot tolerate being called is a liar because of all the things I've done in my life. I've never been a liar. I've never been a liar. If I'm mistaken about something, oh, he's doxed me before. Who cares? If I'm mistaken about something, uh, I'll be the first one to get on here on this live stream and say, guys, I was mistaken. I'll be the first one to do it. Stewie, I didn't take your wrench. I didn't even know you had one. She will say she did it to show you how it feels like, yeah, whatever. She can say what she wants. But if she's going to continue to defend Brian, then she needs to get Brian's proof. Because I'm going to bring mine. If my name's involved in it, I'm going to bring my proof. That's what I do. So, like I said, I have no problem putting it on my community page. I don't want to dox anybody. I don't want to dox that baby's mama. I don't want to dox the lady who's mentioned in there that uh, took care of Braden for a little while during 2015. So I'll have to mark all that out. But I don't want to be called a liar. I just don't do it. I haven't either, Carla Marie, but there's not going to be much Christmas shopping around here, anyways. So, hey, hey. But what is left before Christmas? Like 11 days? Is that right? Freaking 11 days. No, Brian lives in an apartment. Yeah. Is Marcia going to go to the courthouse of the neighborhood of make believe to get her proof? I don't know. But like I said, 20 days. Oh, thank God. Ooh, my math was way off. And you know what? I'm a blackjack dealer. I should be able to count to 21. I was sitting here this morning thinking, is there really only 11 freaking days till Christmas? But thank you all. I'm using Carla's calendar. I'm already off work. I pick up my girls on Wednesdays, but since I have them for the next 3 weeks, don't be lonely. But man, are you going to have a blast with those kids? I'm feeling okay. Like I said, I made the soonest they could get me in for scans and stuff was the 10th. And she just basically told me if the pain got any worse, go to the emergency room, blah, blah, blah. Christmas is not 11 days away. Thank God, Trisha. I'm sitting here this morning freaking out. Want to hear a funny story, though? Okay, my niece's little dog, that little dog that you see, little terrier looking dog. This is how freaking smart this dog is, okay? He might not be much to look at, and I got to keep it quiet because she's here. 3 weeks away. I hope so, Pearls. It could be 3 months away for all I can say, could care. But it's 21 days away. Thank God. Thank God. But so my niece wraps dog toys and puts them on the tree. Okay, she's got them all wrapped up and they're like on the tree. And this little dog is sitting in front of the tree, whining and crying because he knows what's in those little wrapped up things on the tree. I was like, told my niece, I was like, hey, I'll just call her B. I was like, hey, B, why is Tuck sitting here crying at the Christmas tree? And she's like, because he wants the toys that's on it. And I was like, toys? You know, there's ornaments on it. And she's like, no, there's dog toys I've got wrapped and put on the tree. And that dog freaking knows they're there. Stewie. You and Steve. Block Steve. Block Stewie. I don't even know what your all's relationship is. I hope you're kidding. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys are just messing with each other because I don't know what your all's relationship is. Yeah, I guess he does, Tony C. I don't know if they smell like bacon or something, but that dog freaking knows those toys are on that tree and he is not a happy freaking camper. He wants those dog toys and they're not even for him. They're for my snoring little Lolly and the mastiff big dog Sam. So Steve is your buddy. Good, 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 good. But like I said, I do not like to be called a liar. And that is why I came live today. And like I said again, you can, oh, good, you're trolling buddies. Good. I couldn't tell by your avatar, Steve. I know, bless his little heart. He wants those toys so bad. Hey, Vapin. Stewie. Where's Steve Tim been? He was in a stream the other night. But hell, every time he opens his mouth, Brian does a video about him. Every time Steve Tim opens his freaking mouth, Brian does a video about him. So I guess he's, tired of it. I don't know. He's your friend, but still blocking. There's truth out here. Yes, there is truth out here. I never had any problem with Steve Tim. He was always nice to me. Maybe he didn't flirt with me like he did the other girls because I'm old and swollen. I don't know. But Steve's always been cool to me. Even if he did flirt with me or didn't. Yeah, Stewie, when you going live again? You're probably not going to be able to while you got your girls, are you? Or your kids? I don't even know if they're all girls or. Ooh, he says maybe today. Well, we'll all go over there, Stewie. Stewie draws a different kind of crowd. I don't even know a lot of the people that goes in Stewie's stream. And I'm still working on that serial killer trivia because some of it, two girls. Yeah, I thought you had girls. I thought you had mentioned having girls. I really notice when people aren't around. I do too. I say that a lot. I'll go into Discord and say, "Has anybody seen so and so?" You want boys? No, they're no different. I mean, well, they are different, obviously, but Olivia Jade video has over 4 million. Who is? I don't even know who that is. Frogster. Yeah, I bet Stewie is an over. Well, you know he's an overprotective dad because he's had people uh, that's tried to go at his kids and dox them and shit on YouTube, and he flips his shit. I don't blame him. Let's see if the dog's still sitting by the tree wanting a toy. No, he's up on the back of the couch. He got his ass busted for instead of a kid ripping into presents, the dog ripped into presents looking for a toy. You can't reach the ones that are on the tree. He's a smart little dog, man. He really is. But like I said, I just wanted to come live and let Brian already knows I'm not a liar. Brian knows this. Why he won't admit it, why he constantly runs around calling me a liar, knowing that I'm not, to me, only makes him look silly. But Marsha voicing her opinion on me, I am occasionally sympathetic to Brian, and I am fair to Brian. I'm very fair to Brian. I'm a whole lot more fair to Brian than a lot of people have been. Oh, no, I'm not a liar, Georgianne. I'm a lot of things, but I'm not a liar. Hey, Venomous Catnip, I'm outside smoking a cigarette. You going to donate towards my funeral fund? You nasty, nasty little person. You know, the comment that Marsha hearted. Thank you, Carla Marie. I wish everybody the best Christmas ever. Carla, I missed your live this morning. I try to catch your morning lives, but I went back and tried to rewatch it, and you couldn't hear your guest, so it got confusing. Hello, Cork. Oh, thanks, Anita back rub. I do need a back rub, man. My lower back is killing me. Right about, well, in my love handles. Yeah, Trivial Pursuit. Maybe I'll just get the regular Trivia Pursuit game. The thing I found online, I downloaded it on Kindle. I don't like it because it has these real long paragraphs that have to be read after each question and shit. And I don't want to read. I'm not, I don't have that storytelling kind of voice. So I'm just going to go through and pick out the questions and answers, which will probably take me a minute to do. But hell, I downloaded it. I'm going to use it. Exactly, crazy nurse Granny. Exactly. Exactly. Hello, Doodlebug. I might be behind in there. I might be behind in the chat. Hello, D Montana. So, like I said, I just wanted to put some truth out there because, well, I don't like to be called a liar. I hate it. I mean, I'm telling you guys, if I'm mistaken about something, I'll be the first one to go on a live stream and say, I'm sorry, I was mistaken. What did Kiki call it? A leap pad? I don't know. I can't understand a lot of what she says. So I asked these guys in sports chat who was Louisville named after. Creative Revival says, is Brian Tracy's friend. We've been friendly at times. We've offered each other the olive branch and then take it away from each other and beat each other over the head with it. So So I want to hear the answer to this question. But is he your friend? No, I would not call Brian a friend. Uh, I've known him for about, I don't know, 11 years. I don't know how long it's been. Yeah, I don't lie, D. Montana. I want to hear the answer to that question, though, about Louisville. I asked these guys in a sports chat who was Louisville named after. Does anyone know? No, Frogster, I don't. Tell me. Louis Merriweather? I don't know. King Louis. Oh, really? I'll be damned. I didn't know that. I did watch, I'm a old friends. I'm a big IU basketball, and yes, I'm an Indiana fan. Hey, Kimberly, I'm okay. Indiana kicked Florida State's butt, which, by the way, Louisville's ranked number 1 in the country right now. I don't know why, but whatever. But exactly, creative revival. Exactly. And Brian admits that. I don't know why he goes around calling me a liar. He knows the truth. Uh, see, I don't get her humor. Perhaps there is a lot of unaddressed sexual tension between you and Brian. No, wet cat shit. I can promise you that's not it. Uh, I can promise you that's definitely not the problem. But I was saying, I was watching Indiana basketball last night because I got bored with YouTube, and I know, gross, right, Jet Setter? But Indiana kicked Florida State's butt. And I know Florida State was only ranked 17, but it was a big win for us. And I need Indiana to be a good ball. We have not won a national championship since like 1987. Oh, Court, is there something wrong with your dog? I missed it. Oh, Cork, I'm sorry. That spinal injury thing, that is so common in dogs. I don't know what kind of dog you have, but that's so common. I do pray that your dog is not in pain. Yeah, I only have that kind of tension with vaping. Yes, where Isaiah played. Yes. Yes. Isaiah did graduate from University of Indiana. Louisville was founded by George Rogers Clark in 1778. It was named for King Louis XIV of France, appreciation for his assistance in the Revolutionary War. Wow, we're throwing out some facts. Kathy says she's puking up her lunch. Hey, Johnny Cuddy. Oh, the 16th. My bad. See, I suck at Roman numerals. I've always sucked at Roman numerals. I don't even know why we have to have Roman numerals. I guess for the Romans. But why do we have to have them? Kimberly. Me too. I agree, creative revival. I totally agree with that. But I do. I suck at Roman numerals. Is everybody in here good with Roman numerals but me? Because I'm no good at them. Every time I see a Roman numeral, I have to go back and, well, I do have a clock that has Roman numerals on it, so I can at least get to 12 if I go look at the clock. Tawny doesn't like clocks. Doesn't like digital clocks. She doesn't like a clock telling her what time it is. I'm only good to 19. I never understood algebra, Eagle. I don't know how you can add numbers and letters. I was not the sharpest crayon in the box when it comes to certain subjects in school. You just need to know V, X, and M, then before it is less or after. Oh, okay. But math to me was the hardest freaking subject. What's the point in algebra? I totally agree, breaking a silence. Raise your hand if you've used algebra in the last, oh, I know military time. We use that in the casinos on all of our uh, paperwork. But raise your hand if you've used algebra in the last 10 years. Try calculus. No, no, no. Don't even know what calculus really is. Algebra is fun. Well, you sound like a real party animal there, Ruth Walton. Algebra is fun. I got to disagree. I don't think anything in math is fun. As a senior in high school, I was still in what they consider basic math. That's how bad I suck at math. That's why when I went to school to become a dealer, I thought, there's no way I can do this. I might as well just apply for coat check. Because a casino was coming near my hometown and I didn't want to be able to gamble there. And no, trigonometry, no way. I don't even know what that is. A casino was coming to my hometown, and I knew the law in Indiana was you couldn't work at the casino and gamble there. So I went and applied for coat check and ended up going to school to become a dealer, which scared the shit out of me because I suck at math. And do you know there's probably 360 something ways to bet on a crap table? Scared the hell out of me. I had to learn, which I knew odds a little bit because I've been going to the racetrack, Churchill Downs, since I was a little girl. So I knew odds, 9-2 and stuff like that. But on a crap table, on the prop bets, the bets in the center of a crap table, some of those have formulas like 7 times the bet minus the bet. So if somebody bets $13, you got to be able to take 7 times 13 minus 13. I'm not good at that shit. But I made it. I passed it, and I went on to do it for 20 something years. And come on, little dog. Go outside, little dog. But I was scared to death because I'm so bad at math. I mean, come on, blackjack. But even blackjack was scary for me because I'm not quick at adding what 6 and 2 and 8 are, But I learned the easy way to do that. So, when you're laying cards out there and somebody's got 7 cards and it still only equals 19, and you can't go back and recount them. I mean, you gotta know what you're doing. It's a fun job. I suggest anybody young that doesn't have any obligations. It's a fun job. Oh, wait a minute. I got an echo going. If you don't have like obligations such as little kids because you work every holiday, every weekend, Oh, Quark, have a good night. And I'm sorry about your dog. I'll say a little prayer for him. The purpose of algebra is to teach rational thinking skills. Well, I flunked out of that. I'm not sure, Creative Revival. I know I'm way behind in chat. Uh, what ended up happening with that situation that you just asked about? Way up there in chat. I'm way behind in chat. I don't gamble. I don't like giving my money away. I love to gamble. I don't like giving my money away, but boy, is it fun when you win. But that's how I got in the casino business because a casino was coming to town and I didn't want to be able to play there, so I had to get a job there. And I applied for coat check, and the next thing you know, I'm in dealer school and blah blah blah. You ever notice how my streams start off as calling somebody out, and we always end up talking just regular life stuff? That's how every stream goes, which I'm okay with because I've said what I had to say, and I'm right and they're wrong, and in the conversation. Yeah, breaking the silence. Every single my stream start off. I'm not a good dragger. I'm not a good basher because I say what I say and then I move on to something else. Maybe I got ADD or some shit. I don't know. Right, because they're not worth a whole stream dedicated to bashing somebody. I totally agree with that. Plus, I can only think of the truth, and then when I'm done putting my truth out there, I got nothing left to say. Yeah, I'm definitely not consumed with hatred for anyone, for no one. There is no one on YouTube that I hate. Nobody. Because hate means you care. If you hate somebody, then you actually care enough to hate them. And it's just, it's not worth it. I mean, plus, growing up, we weren't allowed to say hate. Like, I had seven brothers and sisters, okay? There was eight of us total. You all know this. We weren't allowed to say, I hate you. You know how kids do? I hate you. We weren't allowed. We got in trouble. So let's prank call some peeps. I wouldn't even know who to prank call. I have no clue who would we call. I do think that when Randy and Diane and them do those calls to that I don't even know what it is. What is it? A dating phone site or something? I do think that's funny as hell. Sorry, I do. I mean, they ain't hurting nobody. And God knows Randy, she comes across these guys, she starts feeling sorry for them. So she's like, let's let them go. I like this one. I mean, I wouldn't put my number on a dating website, a phone website, if I didn't expect to get called. Wouldn't that suck if you put your number out there and nobody called you? That would suck. That's crazy, Creative Revival. I know that was funny, wasn't it, Tony C? Diane was telling those guys that she was saying, and please don't use the word, I don't know, penis or something. whatever. She was like, please don't say that. Please say banana. I was rolling laughing. I was laughing more at Randy, only because Randy, I'm the prankster in my family too, Kimberly. My little sister, who, when I moved to Florida, she moved to Florida, then I moved to Florida. We lived together when we first got down there, and she hated that I did shit like that. Like, we would go into Walmart, and I'd pick a certain clerk or checkout cashier, and then we'd be in line, and I'd have all these, like, I'm talking $200 or $300 worth of groceries, and then I would look at the cashier and the person standing behind me. If it was a man, depending on their age, I would say, "Oh, my brother's gonna get it," and I'd start pushing the cart off, and my sister would get so mad, man. She'd be like, "I'm never going to Walmart with you again," that kind of stuff. But you gotta have fun. And the people in Walmart love me. Walmart people love me. Oh yeah, my nieces threatened to leave me standing in Walmart before because Diane cracks me up, and I like the fact that their streams are not constant hate and bashing. Um, yeah, I like some of their streams. Some of their streams I'm not interested in because I don't know the people they're talking about, and how much fun is that to sit and listen to them talk about people you don't have a clue who they are. Some of their streams I have totally disagreed with in the past, but I'm pretty sure they have me too. So yeah, I don't think he should have put up that picture of Megan either, Ishmael. I don't think. I don't think he should have done that. I tried to tell him Everett wasn't Megan, but he wouldn't listen to me. So what do you do? I tried to tell him, but he wouldn't listen to me. So, and he knows I don't lie. I really do like Diane and Wendy. I think they got sucked into a lot of crap. Oh, I don't know. I mean, they're intelligent women. They know what they're getting into. I mean, I don't, like I said, they're intelligent women. They know exactly what they're doing. They know how they're running their channel, and it's cool. I mean, it's what they do. Whatever. I don't care. Like I said. Yeah. Anyway, moving on. I mean, I've had my beefs with them. They've had their beefs with me. I've had my beefs with, well, look at Baby Blues. Me and Baby Blues, man, we went at it when when we first when I first come across Baby Blues and the truth. How did he get on your radar and into your life? Oh, I told this story, but we're both interested in a death penalty case, Darlie Routier. He thinks she's guilty. I think she's innocent. Uh, I joined, never met Brian before in my life. And that's right, Baby Blues. I'm Baby Blues YouTube band. Never met Brian before in my life. I made a comment, and it wasn't the comment that he goes around saying that I just bust into a Darlie Routier group and start screaming she's innocent. Uh, but I made a comment. He didn't like it. The next thing you know, I got like 100. Uh, my phone sounded like a slot machine going off that night. It was like ding, 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 ding. And I went to my messenger, and it was him. It was this dude. this Brian St. John dude. And I was like, oh my God. Courtney, is there a good video that proves Darlie's innocence? Courtney, I, I don't think there's a good video that proves her innocence. I think there's a good show out called, it's a 3 or 4 part series. And what was it called? It had 2 cases. It had Darlie and another case. Oh, what the hell is it called? Man, my brain is warped right now. But it shows you everything that went wrong with her case. So even if she's not innocent, you'd have to, if you watch the show, you would have to agree that her trial and everything else was just a big cluster. I mean, okay, Anita, I don't think I can do it on, I think I'll kick myself out if I do that, Anita. But thank you. Oh, you want me to read what, let me see. Hold on, let me see if I can do this. What the hell was that show called? It was just done not too long ago. I mean, within the last couple years. But the Innocence Project has uh, picked up her case, and that says something because the Innocence Project doesn't just pick up anybody's case, okay? Oh, thank you. I thought you wrote me a little story. I was going to read what you wrote. I don't see nothing. But thank you, Anita. I wish I could think of the name of the show. Oh, the truth, you should cover that case and do a series on it. There's tons of people who still know nothing or very little about it. And I wouldn't have a problem doing that. Mom Without a Watch. You have 1,000 subs and a community page. Why is your channel not monetized? Well, I'll tell you why, Mom Without a Watch. Because first of all, I wanted to wait to monetize until I decided uh, what direction my channel was going to go in. Get Molly some treats. Well, it's Lolly, but if you want me to get Molly some treats, I'll get Molly some too. But I wanted to wait to see what direction my channel was going to go in. And I also want to wait until after the first of the year or whatever's going on with this COPA or COPPA or whatever. So that's why I haven't put monetization on there. I mean, those are the 2 main reasons. I really want to see what direction I'm going to take my channel. But Marty says you should cover that case or do a series on it. Tons of people still don't know it. The Last Defense. Thank you, Kimberly. Courtney, watch The Last Defense. It gives both sides. It gives both the defense and the... Hey. Let's knock it off. Let's knock it off, puppies. It gives both the defense a chance to speak. Yeah, it came on ID and ABC. Puss in Boots, you think Darren had any involvement? Okay. And there's a lot of people that disagree with me on this, even some people in Darlie's family. Here's what I think. Oh, win some money. See, Marty McFly loves to gamble. In my opinion, Darren read, yes, it was a 4-part series. Darren ran his mouth to the wrong people. And I believe that's who come up in his home and killed his boys and attacked his wife. Do I think Darren set it up? Do I think Darren wanted his kids hurt? No, I don't. Do I think he wanted his wife hurt? No, I don't. At the time that this crime took place, they had already purchased tickets or whatever to go to Darlie's hometown, Altoona, Pennsylvania. Darren's Jaguar was in the shop. Darlie's car was parked on the street. So it may have appeared as if the house was not occupied at that time. What's the deal with how they were saying she wasn't emotional? Well, the deal with that, breaking the silence, is what you see is what the media wants to put out there. Did her behavior at the gravesite seem a bit off? Of course it did. I mean, she's having a birthday celebration for a child who had just passed in a brutal, brutal way 8 days prior. But who's to say how anyone behaves when you lose children like that? My mother, okay, take a nap, Kathy. My mom was a big University of Kentucky basketball fan. Big UK basketball fan. And she passed. Right, there was silly string. But what people fail to understand is Darlie's 16-year-old sister, Dana, brought that silly string to the cemetery. And snaps. Those were their favorite things. Before the silly string tape, they had a memorial service. You hear a minister preaching. Yeah, Big Blue Nation. But talking about how people should react. My mom, who was a big UK basketball fan, passed away right before they won the national championship. And so my mom didn't get to see him win that year. The championship was in March. My mom passed away in March. So within just a few days of my mom passing away, I was out at the cemetery with a giant UK flag. I'm not a UK fan. Remember, I'm Crimson. I'm IU all the way. Even though we suck a lot, I'm IU. But I'm out at the cemetery with the UK flag and balloons and party favors, holding a party for my mom while the ground is still a mound of dirt because her favorite basketball team had just won the national championship. Does that mean I killed my mother? Does that mean I was in any way happy that my mom was gone? You're supposed to, if you're religious at all, which Darlie and them have admitted they did not go to church on Sundays and stuff. But if you read the Bible, you're supposed to celebrate death. What's it say? Rejoice in death, mourn a birth. Because, at the time of your death, you're supposed to move on and be with your Heavenly Father. So I have a real hard time judging how people should behave when they lose somebody. I mean, if you think back, and I don't want to get into conspiracy theories and all that, but if you think back to the Sandy Hook, when Sandy Hook took place, within days, the mother of one of those little girls who lost their life had a funeral service and allowed people to come up with markers and what some people would consider desecrate her casket and write all over this little girl's casket and did an interview for CNN or I don't know if it was, what's his name, the gray-haired dude, what's his name, Anderson Cooper, whoever, smiling and laughing and telling jokes. And so did anybody Are we going to convict her of doing anything wrong? No. I'm just telling you guys, if I was sitting in a courtroom and my life was in the hands, and remember, a judge is Emily Parker. Yes, thank you, Capone. Johnny, I agree for some people. And, uh, because I do know Darlie's family, I know stories of Darlie's behavior following, directly following losing her children. So I do know she grieved. I'm not going to sit here and send somebody to death row because they didn't act the way I think they should act, or they didn't act the way that you think she should act. I mean, yeah, I know. Yeah, her mother is a friend of mine. And I've thought about having her come on my channel and talk about it. But remember, this is her mother. And as much as I love Darlie's mother, she's very biased when it comes to her daughter. She believes in her daughter's innocence. And I believe in her innocence only because I've researched the case. In the amount of time that it would take to pop a bag of microwave popcorn, Darlie had to stab two children, and not in this order. Fatally stabbed two children, cut her neck within 2 millimeters of her carotid artery, stab herself to the bone on her non-dominant. So she's right-handed. She had to use her left hand to stab herself in the right arm to the bone. She had to stab herself in the shoulder blade. She had to run down an alley and back in the length of a football field and more. So 75 yards down and 75 yards back, barefoot in the dead of night without leaving a blood trail. She had to knock over a vacuum cleaner, knock over a lampshade, knock over a glass coffee table, throw a glass to the ground. This all had to be done in the amount of time it takes to pop a bag of microwave popcorn, because while she was on the phone to 911, her youngest, Damon, was still alive. And we know this because when the first responders got there, he was still alive. Medical testimony. No, her blood wasn't on the sock, Trisha. Her skin cells and or saliva was on the sock. It was just Devin and Damon's blood on the sock. Darlie Routier. So the medical testimony was that Damon could have lived up to around 9 minutes. So even if you give it a few more minutes than what medical testimony was, Darlie was on the phone for almost 6 minutes, 5 minutes and 30 something seconds. He was still alive. So unless you believe she was running around her house staging it while her husband and 9-month-old baby was asleep upstairs, then I'm sorry, she didn't do it. Yeah, either skin cells or saliva, Trisha, not Trish. They were beautiful children. And you know what really got me interested in the case more than anything is her youngest, Damon, looks just like my nephew when he was a little boy. Exactly, Courtney. Now, people say there was no timeline, but there definitely is a timeline. But I sent a picture to my nephew's mother, my sister-in-law, and didn't tell her who it was. And she said, "Where did you get that picture? I've never seen that picture of Nick." This is her child. And it was a picture of Damon Routier. That's how much they look alike, or looked alike. Damon is in heaven, and my nephew's a grown man now. But they're supposed to be running the prints and doing DNA tests after 25 years. Yeah, because it's been held up in the courts. What was the prosecutor's motive? I believe Greg Davis, as much as I can't stand him, I believe Greg Davis really, really believed she did it. I believe he saw that, and if you watch The Last Offense, yeah, Drake being diagnosed with cancer. If you watch that Last Offense, Greg Davis says that after seeing that cemetery video, that was the icing on the cake for him. It was political. A lot of it was political. But like I said, there's so much to this case. So much. I mean, you have a crime scene investigator that comes in and declares within 20 minutes that it's an inside job. Okay, 20 minutes is not long enough to declare anything like that. So then you have a bunch of police officers from a small police department that's never, ever, ever done a case like this. And they, of course, want to agree with the so-called expert, James Cron. The truth, you remember Brian had the autopsy pics of the boys as his profile pic. I don't remember if it being the profile pic, but I do remember he's had them on his channel before. I saw a panel last winter about this case, and BSJ happened to be on it. I went on a panel on Laura's about this case. Remember, Laura was diehard Darley's guilty. It was me and Allie Apperson, and then it was against Brian and Laura. But just the fact that the sitting judge, admitted in open court that he had Alzheimer's, to me, should be enough. Should be enough to get her a new case or get her a new trial. Just the fact that there were 33,000 errors in court transcripts. And I don't care that a court said, it's okay, just fix them. No. By law, every defendant is entitled to a verbatim transcript. Verbatim. Which means the exact things said in a courtroom. You don't get to go back and change what you think was said in a courtroom. You don't get to hire another court reporter to fix 33,000 errors. Oh, Damien told him to take it down. Yeah, Damien's a good kid. I haven't been on the pages or anything in a long time. I rarely go on Facebook. Yes, the first court reporter, Sandra Halsey, was basically, her license was stripped from being a court reporter. She lied to a judge's face. She told a judge said, "Why did you lie to me?" And she said, "Because I was afraid Darlie Routier would get a new trial." Why would a court reporter be so invested? A court reporter. Be so invested in guilt or innocence. Their job is to sit in a courtroom and record what's being said verbatim in that courtroom. But she was so invested in this case that she lied to a judge and said she was afraid Darlie Routier would get a new case or get a new trial. So I'm sorry. Hey, Karen Welch. Darlie Routier deserves a new trial. And that is why the Innocence Project has picked the case up. So, oh yeah, ineffective counsel. Let me ask you this, Creative Revival, let me ask you this. Have you ever seen a death penalty trial where the defense puts on not one expert to rebut what the state's experts have said? Have you ever seen that? because that's what happened with Darlie Routier. Doug Mulder did not put on one expert to refute what the state said. This is a death penalty case. I do believe Casey Anthony is guilty. I do believe Casey Anthony did give Kaylee something to make her sleep. And I do believe it took that baby's life. I don't know that I believe Casey did it with the intentions of killing Kaylee. But I also believe that because of the evidence or lack of, the state of Florida chose to go, if they would have gone for a lesser charge, Casey Anthony would be sitting in prison right now, as she should be. But because they went for the death penalty and did not have the evidence to prove, that is why Casey Anthony walked. That's exactly right, Yaya. They should not have made it a death penalty case. Like I said, Tracy, was the sock found the same as the husband wore or different? Oh, it's definitely been concluded it came from the Routier home, Marty. Now, my opinion about the sock is, because and this is just my opinion, but because in the test results, it could not be determined whether it was skin cells or saliva. I believe that sock could have been used to stifle Darlie as a gag. I would love for you to do a live with Darlie's mom. I'll ask her, Yaya. I'd have to have a lot of mods on hand because there would be a lot of haters come in here. But I'll definitely ask her. I'll text her today and see if she'd be willing to do it. With what's going on with the Innocence Project taking the case, I know that a lot of things have become kind of, yeah, I agree, Frogster. I agree. But I do, okay, I'll mod you up. Yeah, if she agrees. A lot of things with Darlie's case has become hush-hush because, well, the Innocence Project has taken the case. And they're not going to allow everything that's going on with her case to be put out there. I mean, it's kind of like playing your hand before it's your turn. So, where even Darlie Key is not getting updates when she goes to visit Darlie, and I know this because I talked to Darlie Key a few weeks ago. I do need to touch base with her regardless because I haven't talked to her, and I know the holidays are coming up. Yeah, the first of the year, right. I agree, Creative Revival. Hey, Amen, Greg. But even now, when Darlie Key goes to see Darlie, Darlie tells Darlie Key she can't tell her a lot because, well, things are, things are heating up. I want to live to see the day that Darlie Routier walks out of prison because I don't believe she did it. Oh, I definitely believe a mother is capable of killing her child or children. We know that. We know that for a fact, folks. I just don't believe in this case. Stop it, guys. I don't believe in this case that Darlie Routier did. I'm sorry, but I just don't believe it. I mean, and Susan Smith, yeah. Wouldn't they owe her a ton of money? I believe the cap, there's some states you get nothing for a wrongful conviction. In some states, it's a law, you get nothing for a wrongful conviction. But I think I looked up Texas, and I believe they have a cap on $80,000 for every year you were incarcerated. But they would have to prove it was a wrongful conviction. And by that, they would have to prove, because just because somebody goes to prison and they're not guilty doesn't mean it was an actual wrongful conviction. They will have to prove there was some prosecutorial misconduct, uh, something like that. But yes, there are states that hey, Sandra Dawson, I'm okay. But if they could prove that, we do know that there was some evidence that was withheld from the defense a lot longer than it should have been. And the sock in question was found and not given to the defense for well over a month, I believe. I have to go back and look. But I don't think that's enough to get, to get them on, because they did eventually turn over the sock. So. But we'll see. We'll see. Because people like Brian have said for years that they'll dance on Darlie's grave, they'll piss on Darlie's grave. But I've even heard Brian say recently, if she's innocent, he'd love to see her released. Well, I would hope so. So, I'll give him that. He said if she's innocent, she should be out of jail. So I'll give him that. Yeah, she's been in jail since the crime occurred on June 6th of 1996, and she was actually convicted in February. Was it wrapped up in February? In February of 1997. So from the time the crime occurred to the time she went to trial and was convicted was what? 6 months? Have you ever heard of that? Yes, she got the death penalty. But have you ever heard of that? The crime was convicted on June 6th of 96. July, August, September, October, November, December. Within 6 months, 7 months, they had her in court and convicted and sent to death row. Exactly, that's quick. Exactly, that's very quick. When most of these cases take years to prepare for. And when Doug Mulder joined the defense team, Judge Mark Toll told him right off the bat, there will be no extensions given, so you best be prepared to go to court. So he told Doug Mulder right off the bat when he joined the defense team, you will be given no extensions at all. And there's proof of all of this out there. I don't know how you pay back somebody that's set in prison for all. I mean, look, Darlie's not the only one sitting in prison innocent. How do you pay a human being back? Tracy, can I ask, do you think the evidence backs up her guilt? No, I don't, JoJo, because there is no real physical evidence. There's a couple blood spots on her shirt, which if you listen to the testimony of Tom Bevel, his theory for how that got on the back of her shirt is so off the wall. But let's remember, Tom Bevel's been involved in several wrongful convictions, one of them being David Cam. So there's just so much to this case, guys. Let's remember that Devon's DNA or blood was not found on the murder weapon. That's why she wasn't charged with Devon. Everybody says, no, they didn't charge her with Devon because Damon was under the age of 6 or 5. And it was enough to get her the death penalty. So they didn't charge her with Devon. No. So basically, you're telling me no one's been charged with the death of Devon Routier. No one. Darlie was not tried for the death of Devin Routier. So is that still an unsolved? I mean, is that still unsolved? Although they used him throughout her trial. Anytime Damon was mentioned, it was Devin and Damon or the boys. That right there should have been enough to knock it out of the courtroom. Because if I go to court and I'm only being tried for killing one person, why are they bringing up more than one name during the trial? If I go to court and I'm on trial for killing, say, Trisha Not Trish, but yet at the same crime scene was Kim Burley. Sorry, ladies. But I go to court for killing Trisha Not Trish, but Kim Burley was at the exact same crime scene. By law, I'm not charged with killing Kim Burley. I'm charged with killing Trisha Not Trish. Why would Kim Burley's name come into that trial? That's not right. Why would, I'm telling you guys, there's so much wrong with this case. That was awkward. I agree. I didn't know who else to use. Usually, when you get the death penalty or life without parole, they don't do a second trial. I don't know, Carol. Do I think if Darlie Routier gets released from prison, do I think they will retry her on if she got released on a technicality, they could have, of course, retry her for Damon. But if she just gets declared innocent of killing Damon, would they retry her on Devin? Absolutely not, because they have no evidence whatsoever. They don't even have his DNA on the murder weapon. So, no, I don't think so. If Darlie Routier ever walks out of prison, I don't believe she'll have to worry about going through a second trial. I don't. Oh, I know, Sandra. Truth, Kiki's next headlines will be you threatening to kill Trish or Kim. Yeah. But I don't care. I really don't care. But yeah, I mean, and everybody's entitled to their opinion as far as cases go. I don't have a problem with people believing her guilt. I don't. I don't. I mean, some people believe if you're sitting in jail, then you did something wrong. Period. You're not in there for singing too loud in church. I've heard people say that. But with the number of wrongful convictions in this country, the fact that we even have the death penalty is amazing to me. And trust me, I'm not anti death penalty. I'm anti getting it wrong and putting innocent people to death like they did another gentleman in Texas. Willingham. Look him up. They killed him. He got the death penalty. And then Texas comes back and basically says, oops, oops. Well, tell that to Willingham's family, okay? You don't get an oops when somebody's life is at stake. You don't get no oops. So I'm you can't retrial in England. Can you do it in America? We have what's called double jeopardy, JoJo. And double jeopardy would be if, say, I go to court for something and I'm found not guilty, they can't retry me for the same crime. So, sorta, kinda, sorta. I guess that's, I mean, I don't know how else to explain it, JoJo. It's called double jeopardy. And if I'm taken into court and tried for a crime, any crime, and I'm found not guilty, then no, they cannot bring those charges back against me. So, but if I go to court and I'm found guilty and there's a technicality, then and I'm released on a technicality, then yes, they can retry me for that same crime. But not anybody that's been declared not guilty by a jury. But guys, I'm going to get off here because I do have some real life things to do. This has been another very interesting stream, by the way. Thank you for supporting my stream. Thank you, Anita, for the PayPal. We will talk more about this case if you guys want. I will try to talk to Darla Key and see if she wants to come up on panel. You're welcome, JoJo. I just wanted to be sure to, if you get the opportunity, to watch the show Last Defense and make up your own mind. I promise you, if you come into my stream and you say, no, I believe she's guilty, I'm okay with that. Because it's a lot easier to believe she's guilty than it is to be on the other side of the fence and believe she's innocent. Because let's face it, she's sitting on death row. It would be so much easier just she's guilty and walk away from it. But I haven't done that in years, and I'm not going to do that until somebody actually proves to me that she killed her kids. And that doesn't mean I have to have a videotape of her doing it. I have to have solid evidence and not just circumstantial evidence that she killed her kids. So, or fabricated or anything else. But guys, I do want you to enjoy your day, and we will do another live stream soon, maybe some trivia. And if you want to talk more about the Darlie case, we will. And I see you guys around the tube.